just call Jacob to see where he is?
If not, you'll just start with your presentation and hopefully he'll come at the end.
Okay. Oh, yeah. We could always push him off till afterwards. That's true.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, hi and welcome everybody. Really glad to see everybody back. And I want to thank all of you who who are here for the first time. If any of you are here for the first time, and especially those of you who are making it back. Having been for several times, it really we think that it really makes a very big difference and can really be very helpful. This kind of support, and obviously you do too. And it's really helpful for everybody when people participate. So we really appreciate that you're here. Last week we spoke a little bit about finding your why and about how important it is for you to have one. And by a why, we really mean like the reason that you're doing this. What are you actually trying to accomplish? And we mentioned somebody that I knew who was really, one of the examples we were talking about, like having strong whys. So one of the examples was somebody that I knew who wanted, very much to be able, to learn how to fly a plane, but she was too big. They wouldn't let her into the cockpit. So, so that was her. She had a very strong why. She wanted to be able to fly. I also mentioned mine, which was that I want to be around for my family for a long time and watch my grandkids and everybody grow up. So we talked about, so those are some examples of strong whys. And you have to think about what yours is. We also talked about how important it was that once you've developed it, how important it is for you to review it on a regular basis. You want to review your why. Well, because otherwise it's very easy to kind of lose track of things. So that's what we were talking about last week. Tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about dreams and goal setting. And for that, I'm going to turn it over to our friend and frankly our mentor, Sherry Marks.
I'm on a call.
So Sherry, take it away.
And you're muted, Sherry. And maybe not anymore. But.
Sherry, there's a little button there that on the bottom on the right that shows open up PowerPoint. Sherry? Sherry?
That's what I was doing. Okay, now I got it. Now I know you can hear me. So it's technical, it's fine. We're all good.
Oh.
Anyway, I wanted to welcome everyone to the call. Thank you so much for taking of your precious Wednesday night to join us, and happy to have you all with us in our Take Shape for Life support meeting. Just wanted to make sure if everyone could mute themselves if they have some background noise. It just helps a little bit, even though I don't hear anything now, but that's good. We're all on. Anyway, just going over, talking about setting goals.
Mm-hmm. And she froze.
And that's it for now, folks.
Yay! So one of our goals is to, never mind.
Okay, let's see. Does she even realize she's frozen?
Probably not.
She might have.
Oh, there's Jacob. Yay.
Hello. How are you?
Okay, while we're waiting for Sherry, maybe we'll get you started.
Awesome.
So
My severe apologies for being late.
That's okay. I'm Sarah. Jacob.
Hi, Sarah.
Jacob. And I'm going to introduce you for Sherry because Sherry is not available at the moment. So
Great.
Jacob is one of Sherry's clients, correct?
Yes.
And you are also a health coach, correct?
I'm also a health coach.
And I've heard amazing things. And
Thank
Jacob,
you.
I've heard, is a great speaker, and I'm going to let him take it away from there. So
that was a very wonderful introduction. I hopefully will only let everyone down from this point. I just very quickly, I wanted to share my story. I was someone that today I was thinking about trying to avoid a situation where I would have to run a mile because I had such a negative experience with being fat when I was a kid. that it really kind of followed me throughout my entire life. And I at my heaviest, I'm short, I'm 5'6", and at my heaviest, I was about 265 pounds, rocking a 42-inch waist, and being overweight really really defined who I was in a negative way, and really kind of impacted a lot of my my self-esteem. And so I was encouraged by Sherry and Rabbi Marks to try out Take Shape for Life. And, my wife and I both were a little bit concerned about going on the program, but we were amazed because as the weight started to come off, for the first time in my life, I actually started feeling a lot more confident about not only like my ability to connect with people, which I had to work on a lot as someone who's overweight because I didn't have the looks going for me, but I actually came into my own and I started feeling a tremendous amount more confident. And I also became very involved with fitness, which is fantastic. And so some of the, I became observant. I'm Jewish. I became an Orthodox Jew later in life. And so at times when I became a rabbi, so people would say, well, were you ever not religious? And I also had a similar experience when I was in the gym where people would be like, oh, were you a sprinter? Like, what were you doing? Are you like a professional? Were you a professional bodybuilder? And so the ability to leverage Take Shape for Life, both the coaching aspects and those elements, and also just the phenomenal results that, I've dropped 100 pounds in my life, specifically Take Shape for Life. I've lost over 50, and having that experience of not only of going from not being healthy to a place where I felt that I was getting a lot of recognition for how I looked and how I could perform from an athletic perspective was really life-changing for me. And I became very passionate about that because I felt like there's a lot of people in the Jewish community specifically that really would love to feel confident about how they look and to feel like they can accomplish not only, things that, like actually like with sports and just feeling good about themselves. So I really want to pay that forward, and that's been fantastic. And I guess the backstory is I was doing a lot of heavy lifting, and I allowed my diet to slip a little bit because with all the lifting, like even though like I was exercising a lot, I started justifying eating stuff that wasn't healthy. I realized that if you're exercising a lot, you do have to eat more. But I was started eating stuff that wasn't healthy. I started to feel the old habits come back because I think that one of the major elements of Take Shape for Life is that we want to stay healthy for life, not just lose the weight. So what I started to do is I felt the old habits creep back. I realized that a person in the process of losing weight, like it's habits that we have to adopt for life, not just while we're losing the weight. And so Sherry recommended for me to read a book called The Diet Trap, which I highly recommend and I love. And that really gets into the head of how you stay healthy for your whole life, just like the program. And so I really started adopting, I was like, oh, this is so cheesy, I'm not going to do it. But then I realized like I needed help. And so what I did was I started making a goal sheet, like physically in front of me, about why I wanted to be healthy and what I got out of being healthy. And I think it changes a lot throughout your life. For me, a lot of the stuff is like very seemingly superficial. I just want to like look good. I want to feel comfortable, be more healthy. And so what I started to do was I adopted this strategy from the book. And now wherever I have my major triggers. So like in the kitchen, I have a little note with my goals and what I want to achieve, just to kind of keep me on the path. And thank God, like I've been able to stick to the plan, and I'm really happy to say that. And I am very excited, and I think that it's a really remarkable opportunity because a lot of times we feel like reaching our optimal health is outside of us. And it's not possible. And like, I'll never look like that. No one would ever like point me out and say, hey, you look great. You look fantastic. And that's happened. And I'm like living that success. And it's a huge motivation for me, not only to help other people reach that, but to keep that for myself and not to kind of rest on our success, which I think is very typical in a lot of cases why you have that yo-yo diet. And so that's why I'm very passionate about the idea of a lifetime plan of being in that coaching mindset and being involved and talking to people about it and helping people so that they don't have to go through it multiple times in their life.
Wow.
How's that? Was that okay?
Great.
Awesome. Okay.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure. I will mute myself now.
Back to Sherry.
Right. Thank you so much. Jacob is what we call him, or I don't know if he's otherwise known as the ripped rabbi in our neighborhood.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The ripped rabbi, who I always thought he was ripped, but now he's actually in better shape inside and externally. So it's also, he's kind of like working on his health from within. And as you just heard, goal setting for Jacob and for all of us, it's something that's really going to be helpful for us as we are starting our health journey. As Abraham Lincoln once said, a goal properly set is halfway reached. And so what does that mean to people? That when you are setting up a goal, it's a good idea to set up a goal, because if you don't have a goal, you're just kind of like, oh, I'm just getting out there, maybe I'll just lose some weight. But you have a specific idea in mind, how much you want to lose weight, where do you want to be at, what size do you want to be, and it's something you want to visualize. It's something you want to like close your eyes. Sometimes when we start with clients from the beginning, we say, visualize, where do you want to be? What do you think it's going to look like? What do you think it's going to feel like when you're at your goal? And that is so helpful to people when they're trying to visualize where they want to be. It really helps them project where they're going to be and when they're at that point. And it's something that, like, it sounds kind of touchy-feely, but when you actually do it, it's so real. And I'm like not one of those touchy-feely people, and it really works. Another aspect of it, besides visualizing it, once you visualize it, then write it down, right? Writing down is so important, to have that piece of paper in front of you, the cards, putting it in certain places, having it, you can utilize your goals as a daily affirmation every day when you wake up, right? Repeat it maybe certain times of the day, when you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning, when you're maybe at a place where, you're exposed to something you don't really want to have. Repeating those goals to yourself, right? And possibly even tying in with last week with the why. It's so important, and it's going to help you really get over those humps, getting over those obstacles. We have the next slide.
Is the next one?
Yeah, please.
Oh, I thought we did that. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Is that good?
I see the same one, but.
Oh, well, I think I was on the other one, the SMART goals.
Oh, I don't see SMART goals. Maybe I'm on the wrong. No, I don't. I see the first one, Abraham Lincoln, but.
Maybe go on your own.
Okay, I will do that.
Does everyone else see it?
It's the same slide.
Also on the goal setting.
Let me start. Oh, my screen
Wasn't
share.
just me then.
Okay, let me share it again. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let's see if this works. Okay, it's one of those days.
It's okay. We're all
Technical
good.
difficulties.
Okay.
I'm just gonna pull up the slide in its entirety. 1 second. Stop share. No.
Does anybody have any goals that they have set down for themselves? Have they started writing things down like that? Raise your hand. How many people have written down goals?
I don't know how to share screen.
Anybody? Yay. Anybody else? Well, actually, people on the phone could also share if they can say if they want to unmute themselves, if they've actually written down goals. So part of what we want to talk about, not just specific, goals, just goals themselves, but what we refer to as SMART goals. Sorry, I keep pronouncing that wrong. And a SMART goal is, it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-oriented. And specific meaning, again, we don't want to just say, I want to lose weight, right? We want to have like a specific idea in mind. We want to paint that idea, exactly how much, like I want to lose 50 pounds, I want to lose 60 pounds, because you want to know exactly where you want to be. And when you know that, you have that idea in mind, then you're going to take those actions to achieve where you want to be. You want it to be measurable, right? Instead of just saying, the reason why I want to do this is to lose more, to get more energy, right? You don't want to do it just specific yeah, I'm sorry, you do want to do it more specifically, not just about getting more energy, but getting more energy to do what, right? So for some people, I know David's been doing some 5K recently. And
Sarah,
so that's,
Sarah, I'm muting everyone and then unmute yourself, okay?
okay.
Okay.
I know David has done some 5Ks recently, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. Maybe one day I'll end up doing one. I did do a regular walking marathon, but not a running one. There are some people have really specific goals, like I want to go water skiing, or I want to be able to go surfing, or, I live in California, so I could say stuff like that, right? Everyone has a different specific goal, and if you're writing it down, it just makes such a world of difference. And make it something that's achievable. Make it something that's reasonable, that if you set up a goal that's like way too high, it's going to be like way above your expectations, and you're just going to get overwhelmed, and you're not going to really believe that you could actually achieve that goal. Sometimes we set these high expectations for ourselves, and when it comes to it's like, well, gee, that was like unrealistic. It's, like I'm going to lose, 50 pounds in 2 weeks or, 1 week. It's like, well, that's just like, doesn't make sense, right? And a lot of people expect, things to be, when they want to lose weight, they want it to be like magic. They just want it to come up, and that's not reasonable. So you want something that you can, it's something that's achievable, it's reachable, and you can accomplish it, right? Even though ultimately sometimes we don't think that we could lose weight, from the beginning, but we know once we start losing, we start seeing that scale going down. It's so exciting to see, even if it's a few pounds a week. I know some people they're like, oh, I only lost 1.5, 2 pounds. I'm like, that's great. I love when I lose 1.5, 2 pounds. I get so excited. I do the happy dance, every time we reach something, it makes a big difference. We want it to be realistic. Also, we don't want to, pressure yourself that you're never going to have, like some people, I'm never going to have dessert ever again my entire life. And it might work for a little while, and it might be something you could look at, but it's not something that's really going to be, it's just not going to happen necessarily, unless you're just like totally one of those gung-ho people. That's it. I'm never having sugar again or whatever. If you do that, fine. But that's not, the average person is not going to say something like that. And it's not really realistic. And make it time-oriented. Set up a time. Like, I want to lose, 50 pounds by so-and-so date. Like, maybe for the wedding, or maybe for, in 2 or 3 months. It doesn't have to be for a certain, it could be for an event, but make it a time-oriented thing. So you're not going to be going on and on. What do you think are advantages of setting goals? Anybody want to give an idea of what they think? Does anyone else want to? Yes, David, you can unmute yourself. You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I was trying to do. I couldn't tell whether or not I was unmuted or not. Okay.
That's okay.
Probably one of the most important things about setting goals is that there's an accountability. In other words, if you said that this is what you're going to do, then you kind of have to do it, or be able to explain at least to yourself why you didn't.
Right. And you could have that accountability buddy, or you could have it be accountable to your coach. Some people are accountable online. They do like blogs or, blogs and stuff like that. There was actually a study from Harvard University, a group of graduates, and they spoke with them. They did research, and then they readdressed this same group 20 years down the road. And the only people from that graduating class that were really successful were the ones who actually wrote down their goals. And they were Harvard graduates. Obviously it's not just that you're so smart that you made it to Harvard, but actually writing down, following through, and making the things happen. So another really, the really good idea to have goals and to write them down. So we're just going over what your goals are. Define what actually is your goal. Think about it, visualize it, make it make it real, and then writing it down and talking about it. Maybe that, daily affirmation a few times a day, that could really help. Like when you're about to go into a dessert reception, maybe, or someplace when wherever you think you're going to, you might be an obstacle. So that is really helpful. So just going over, writing down. If anybody does anybody want to share any of their goals that they might have as a result of this call? Or have you had goals written down already that you want to share? Or after this, call, are there goals that you could think for yourself that you might want to set for yourself? Anybody want to share? Sorry, you have to unmute yourselves.
Okay, I thought I just did.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect.
I know that for myself, almost immediately prior to starting this program, I had set goals for myself, but they were all kind of in my head. You know, I just kept telling myself, I want to lose 10 pounds by, in this case, it was my son's bar mitzvah, and it never happened. Every week, there was another very valid reason why I couldn't focus on it.
Yeah.
But it was only in my head. When I started this, and it was something where I put down concrete goals in writing, shared with other people, namely my coach, my support team, it became very real. And there was an accountability that made it happen. People were wondering, how's it going with that? Did you meet that goal? How are we doing with that goal? That checking in. And I haven't been able to ignore it or push it off. And I feel like that's been a huge difference also.
Wow.
Setting the goals and, you know, solidifying them by writing them, saying them, they become real.
Mhm.
That has been a huge difference.
Amazing.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm
So
like, it's so inspiring
I'm
to
gonna
hear that from other
I'm
people.
going to remute myself, but
Oh, what?
she's remuting herself because of the background.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Sherry, thank you so much for that. Really, I'm inspired, you know, from your talk, and I'm going to wrap this up because it's getting late. And I just want to say, like, first of all, for Jacob, you know, his sharing with us, I found like he was so real to me, like hearing someone that actually, you know, he's a coach and he struggled a little bit, and you know, that's what this is about. It's not about perfection. We're not going to be perfect every day. It's about, you know, just moving forward in our health every day, just learning from our mistakes and moving forward. I used to, in my old days, I used to throw in the towel and say, oh, I messed up today. I might as well mess up tomorrow. And then it would spiral to this huge weight gain that could have been caught if I just said, oh, you know, what went wrong? You know, what could I do better tomorrow? And kept moving forward. And that is what I do now. And so really amazing share. Thank you so much. And, you know, Sherry, just everything you said really resonates with me. I actually was thinking about my goals. You know, this got me thinking. I'm like, I'm a coach. I was supposed to know my goals. And, you know, I'm not so clear about that. And, you know, and they keep changing. So one of the things I realized, like I rode a bike yesterday, first time in 20 years. And I said, you know, I always had this dream of this vision of myself and my family going bike riding. And I couldn't even get myself on a bike. You know, I was for sure too heavy. I'd probably knock the bike over. So, you know, getting on that bike and being able to ride it, and, you know, that's like one of my goals. I want to go biking with my family, and, you know, we should all have bikes and be healthy together and do fun things that are, you know, healthy. So, and now that we have 2 minutes left to finish off the call, I would love to, you know, I'll go over quickly the tips for success, and then if anyone has any questions, you know, I'll open it up for that. But, you know, we do this on every call because this is like the foundation of the program. If you're not doing these things, it's going to be much harder to be successful. So, you know, the water, you know, here's mine. See? And, you know, half your weight in water. And in Florida, or where I am, or anywhere where it's hot, you need more water in the summer. So, you know, every 2 to 3 hours, keeping your blood sugar even. It was so nice today. I was in the car, I was driving, and I felt my blood sugar dropping. I felt it because I'm very, very in touch with that. And I'm like, oh, grab a bar, and, you know, we're all good. And measuring your lean and green, you know, I always recommend to my clients in the beginning, even if you're not going to do it for life, just get an idea of what that that portion size looks like, and measure and weigh, you know. And if you see yourselves like getting sloppy, even if you've been on the program for a while, go back and start measuring and weighing again, because sometimes we get, you know, messy, and it's good to just rein ourselves in. Food log, I'm a big fan. Ask my clients. I've been logging. I use a great app, and I think it's, you know, for life, it's a great thing to do, writing down your food and speaking to your coach regularly. I love doing that with my clients, and reading, you know, really, you know, we need to get that dose of inspiration every day. And I have 1 minute. Anyone have anything they'd like to share, or about this call, or any comments they'd like to make? And, you know, I could definitely stay on to answer any questions. I know Sherry has to run, but anyone that has any questions or anything, or
I have one goal for this week.
yeah, let me go hear it.
I'm going to get my bike out of the garage.
Ah, I love that. Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. So anyone else before I close the call? It's 9 o'clock, so I'm pretty much going to close the call. So thanks for joining us. And one more thing, next week there is no call. Where all us coaches are going to be in Austin, Texas for an amazing convention for our Take Shape for Life convention. So we will see you the following week and look forward to that. So with that, have a great night all.